Joining us on NDTV, we have a special guest today. Mike Manley heads Fiat's operations in the Asia-Pacific region, is also the person who heads the Jeep brand globally. Great to have you with us.
It's fantastic to be here. Thank you for having me on the show.
And it's good to see you here in Mumbai. So I have plenty to ask you. First up, let's just start with the agenda that brings you here.
Well, you know, when we brought our region together, it hadn't been a huge focus under Fiat-Chrysler. So we brought that together in September 2011. And as part of that, we're looking to develop our marketplaces. And of course, at the end of this year, India will be the 5th biggest automotive market in the world. Fiat have a presence here, but we think there's a huge amount of opportunity. So I'm here to announce our plans over the next 4 to 5 years to not just expand Fiat's presence in India, but also to announce the launch of Jeep in the marketplace. Passenger vehicles, but it's growing in SUV as well. And we'll bring our new C-SUV to the market. So our launch really will start with our 2 icons. Wrangler, of course, which traces itself all the way back to the 40s when we started. But the new Grand Cherokee will be coming to market in 2013. So that kind of bookends our brand for us. But the very important segments are to get access to B, the compact SUV, and then the C as well. So our portfolio will initially have 4 vehicles in it, 2 of those vehicles localized to make sure that we can offer the Indian consumers localized product at the right price points, and it will start with Wrangler and Grand Cherokee.
You've preempted a lot of my questions. I can see that you've come fully prepared to address what the media is going to ask you, but let's expand on that just a bit.
Sure.
So, from what I understand then, Wrangler and Grand Cherokee will be direct imports, and
Correct.
That's going to be the initial phase.
Absolutely.
How soon does that happen?
That'll happen towards the end of 2013, towards the end of the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter.
And what happens next? I mean, what's the second phase, as it were?
So then, as we get into 2015, 2nd quarter 2015, our first localized product is planned to come on stream, which will be the B-SUV, because we think in the cadence of launches, that's the next one that's appropriate. And that will be followed in around 12 to 14 months with C-SUV. So over that period of time, we'll end up with 2 localized products in the bigger SUV segments, with Grand Cherokee and Wrangler imported in those more premium segments that we have a place in, I think.
And all of this, I'm assuming, happens at the Fiat plant, because there is ample capacity there anyway.
There is. There's also room to expand. You know, the plant, I don't know if you've been there, but it is a truly state-of-the-art plant, and the joint venture with Tata, our manufacturing joint venture, is strong. It has plenty of capacity to expand. Clearly, we're going to have to look at powertrains. You know, the powertrains we have there at this moment in time are more applicable to passenger vehicles, B and C passenger vehicles. But we have, I think, the right team, we have the right facility and opportunity to expand. And, you know, it'd be great for us at some stage to announce that expansion.
We can't wait for that part, I can tell you. But sticking to these new products which you say will be localized, what, if any, will there be in terms of sharing with Fiat? Will some of these platforms be shared in terms of products? Will there be component sharing or powertrain sharing?
Well, you know, it's a great thing about the alliance, and I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but if you think of what Fiat is known for in some of the technological areas, and if you will let me, I'll go through a few. Firstly, Fiat's very well known for smaller powertrains. Not just small displacement, but also the 16-valve direct injection technology, which Chrysler really known for bigger powertrains. So we're going to use some of that technology. Fiat's small platform technology, I think, is renowned. You know, the new Giulietta has performed incredibly well, and we can use elements of that platform for our small Jeeps. So there's a lot of technology sharing that goes on under the skin. Now, of course, we want to end up with a true Jeep. So what we then do is give it to our Jeep engineers to make sure that it has all of the capability, all of the traits that you would expect to see in a Jeep on the road.
The reason I ask you that is also because you did say that there is going to be, you know, parallel to this, there's going to be lots that's happening with Fiat itself and Fiat brand vehicles also. And does some of that product development then take into account what's going on with Jeep or its development?
Well, yeah, I think so, because, you know, as we develop technology together, we're obviously thinking not just of a particular brand, but the brands within our portfolio. The most important thing is that we develop common technology that doesn't dilute or influence the brand or detract from the brand itself, and that's a big focus for the engineers that work together today. So things that we've developed for Jeep, for example, maybe all-wheel drive systems, are certainly applicable to certain of what were originally Fiat brands but now sit in our total brand stable. And it really is a two-way street in terms of the way that we think about technology development, because one of the things that, if you like, platform sharing, we have to be careful about what platform sharing is, but you know, combining the group's assets from brands will enable us in the very near future to have a number of platforms where we have over 1 million vehicles per year off the same platform. Now that's something that for us we've not been able to achieve in the past, and brings with it the obvious economies of scale that will help us remain very competitive into the future. Some of those economies of scale get reinvested in terms of the content that we put into those vehicles, so it really is a dual benefit. Our customers get better content, they obviously get a very well proven platform, and we get some of those economies of scale that's important in a competitive world.
Post 2015, does any of this take into account right-hand drive exports from India as well?
Well, you know, I think some OEMs from India have been successful and do run right-hand drive export strategies. We've done very little of that with the Fiat business, to be honest. But I certainly see on the Jeeps the opportunity to export right-hand drive Jeeps from India, and as we then begin to continue to develop the Fiat product, that opens up some right-hand drive markets as well. So I think it's exciting not just for us, because to get, if you like, the enough scale in our right-hand drive markets so that they can influence the development of right-hand drive products more than they may have done in the past is great for consumers in all of those markets.
And outside of the UK, that's one area where you would like to see more growth coming in anyway. It's not traditionally where you've been strong, right? Right-hand drive markets.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, we've seen significant growth in Australia, for example. Yeah. We've basically doubled our market share in the last 2 years, and I think that's because what we did as part of this whole transition of setting up the regions is we began to be much more local. We put the control of our marketing, the control of the way the market develops really into the markets. Now in the past, you know, Chrysler's model was we take American vehicles and we export them around the world and find someone who wants to buy that, you know, that type of vehicle, and we've really dramatically changed that. And I think Asia is the best example of what the results can be. A 40% increase in our shipments year over year. You know, our profit has more than doubled in the region in the same period of time. So I know when we have the focus, when we allow our markets really to have much more control and say in their destiny, that we can truly get the results. Now the UK, clearly Europe's having a very difficult time at this moment, but it's very traditionally strong right-hand drive market. We're strong in South Africa as well, and you know, Jeep resonates well in that market too. So I think given the fact that Jeep is well known in India, it has been here before, there's been a lot of interest in Jeep coming. That adds not just the 5th biggest market in the world, but the biggest right-hand drive market. So we begin to get a good massive market for us that can help drive our right-hand drive strategy further into the future than it has in the past.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for Retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.